Ranpo Kitan, Game of Laplace is a mystery horror anime released in July of 2015. Based on the writing of famed Japanese author Edogawa Ranpo, this series marks the 50th anniversary of his death. The protagonist, Kobayashi, is a very feminine 13-year-old boy that finds himself the only suspect in the gruesome murder of his teacher. Rather than break down in panic, Kobayashi finds the whole situation fascinating and becomes determined to find the real killer after his release from police custody due to his status as a minor and a certain detective's instruction. Kobayashi is joined by his friend class rep Hashiba in seeking out 17-year-old detective Akechi, the man, boy, in charge of the murder case. Kobayashi reveals his methods of tracking down Akechi to his hideout and manages to impress the young detective. Kobayashi asks Detective Akechi to accept him as an assistant and reveals that although he is suspected of a horrific murder, he's having the time of his life. More information about the case is then revealed, and the episode ends with a twist, but I won't spoil that for you. Now, let's take a look at the good, the bad, and the future. First, the good. The art is great, character design is very stylish, and background art in particular is much more refined than is typically seen in anime. The story is interesting enough to have engaged my curiosity to the point where I won't be able to resist watching the next episode at the very least. If the opening credits are any indication, it looks like there will be no shortage of interesting characters. And now the bad. Speaking of interesting characters, Kobayashi is not one of them. He is very bland to the point where I don't really care about his role in the story. Maybe we'll get pieces of his past or some serious character development as things progress. Secondly, the pace of the first episode seemed slow and yet somehow rushed at the same time. This is probably just due to the horror mystery genre, as there isn't a lot of room for action when there's so much information that needs to be presented at the get-go. The future. With the main characters and settings established, I think this series will continue towards greatness. There are several questions which will hopefully be addressed in later episodes, such as, why is Akechi always popping pills? Is he dying of some illness as hinted, or is he a Sherlock-esque drug addict? Why is the real murderer going out of his or her way to frame poor nubile young Kobayashi? Where the hell are Kobayashi's parents in all this? Overall, Ranpo Kitan looks like it can't be anything less than a good series, and could potentially turn into something amazing. That's it for this First Impressions video. If you want to see more, feel free to subscribe to this channel, as I plan on doing one for the majority of this summer's anime lineup. That shouldn't be too awful. Maybe.